and the camera is there.
It should be simply old men, not grumpy old men. Simply
Just
old
old.
men. Just old men.
Put the glasses on.
Trademark Steve Ross 2024. Don't steal it.
Hi everybody and welcome to Grumpy Old Men with Glasses. Why are we starting each program with our glasses and hats on?
Oh, I don't know. It's just we both happen to wear them today because we live in a place that's very sunny and we were coming down to the beach. And I like it. It's like a Blues Brothers thing, you know. It's identical uniform, but two very distinct personalities.
So you think you look cool with glasses on?
No, I think I look like a grumpy old man, but I sort of, with the red shirt, the glasses, and the hat, looked like you. And so I thought, well, let's start with the pair of us, a pair of bookends, grumpy old bookends.
Now, we are indeed at the beach. In fact, the beach would be not more than 15 to 20 metres away.
You could literally throw a rock and hit it from here.
And we are at a new place that's just opened up. You know a bit more of the history of it than I. So it's called The Sea Light, and I know that because it's on a sign just in front of me.
Yeah, it's got several selfie spots around, of course, like everything does now. And one of them is out here with the sea behind you and some landscaping and a big arch that says The Sea Light. And we are right next to Wat Ta Sai, the Wat on the beach in Thai Mueang. And you can find it easy enough, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous temple.
So we're about 10 minutes south of where we usually hang out in central Thai Mueang. And the Ta Sai temple, which is a wooden temple and sort of famous for being wood.
Well, I think many, many temples are wood. What is distinct about Wat Ta Sai, could you hand me a tissue, please, before I offend our audience? What's
More
distinctive
than you've already offended them.
About Wat Ta Sai is the iconography. It's all of its Buddhas inside the Vihan are carved from white marble imported from India a long, long time ago. And there's not a scrap of gold on any of the icons.
Take your stupid glasses off.
Thais love, it's his show, his channel. He tells me rudely to take my glasses off.
Take your
I'll
shirt
them
off.
No, I'll draw the line somewhere. There's no casting couch in YouTube. But at any rate, the iconography, the pure white marble Buddhas is very distinctive, very rare in Thailand. They love to stick gold on everything, don't they? They love to put gold, and there's not a spot of gold leaf in this temple.
So it's one of those things that you can visit when you're in the area. But we are right on the beach, brand new restaurant. We've just had our lunch. You've got a little bit left over there of your green curry chicken.
That's just the gravy.
And I don't think people are going to come here for the food necessarily. It's the building, which is all
beautiful
wood.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful construction, and it's again like George Pizza. Its location is its strength. It's you could throw a rock, hit the ocean. Today it's exceptionally beautiful. And everything's brand spanking new. They just opened. So everything's brand new. Everything's very clean. Everything's very tidy. The pavements are not buckled yet. There's no splinters in the wooden benches yet.
The table we're at is one of those tables we see from time to time. It's that thick, solid wood. Solid.
You put it outside. You build it to last.
Amazes me that we can actually bump it and it moves the... Wow. So, by the way, it is Chinese New Year yesterday.
Yeah.
Because we're recording Saturday, showing it on Sunday. And we've both gone out of our way to invest. I know how much you invested. I've got the price tag off the back of your shirt.
Yeah.
So
I need a dresser.
It's been on special, been marked down twice. I think it came from China in about 2006, and it's been sitting in the store ever since.
Yeah.
Oh, our soda has arrived. You got a coffee coming.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
So the big question is, every time we go, oh, happy Chinese New Year, there's somebody in the comments section that says, no, it's Lunar New Year. So, over to you, Steve.
Yeah, I don't get it, because there is not just one Lunar New Year. Of course, Rosh Hashanah, I grew up celebrating Rosh Hashanah. That's a Lunar New Year in October. The Muslims have their New Year in July on a lunar calendar.
Songkran?
Songkran is solar. Steve got that wrong last time. Songkran is a solar calendar.
There you go.
But the Javanese will celebrate 2 Lunar New Years in a single Gregorian solar year.
Full moon party?
The full moon, well, that's a full moon. But my point is, it's to call this simply Lunar New Year, even if you put the article a Lunar New Year, is imprecise and vague, and I won't be saying that. It is Chinese New Year. That is what the Thais celebrate. They also celebrate their own New Year and the Farang New Year. They're not picky. And what we call it is the Chinese New Year. It's not the only Lunar New Year. So simply calling it a Lunar New Year doesn't pin it down.
So there you go. That's sort of, on Monday I thought, I'm going to research this, because I'm sort of getting sick of people going, no, it's the Lunar New Year. And I thought, is it somebody trying to be PC, or what is this the reason for demanding that we call it the Lunar New Year?
I think for some reason a lot of people just want to take shots at China right now. A lot of people are pissed off at China for a variety of things.
I think there's a lot of that.
There's a lot of China bashing in the YouTube comments section now.
Oh, just a little bit.
And I'm wearing the shirt, bash away.
And thank you.
Thank you.
And no awareness at all. And these shirts you can guarantee were made in China.
Yeah.
And I saw some elephant pants hanging up in the same shop, and they were 100 baht, and you can bet your bottom dollar they came from China as well.
Yeah.
As did your iPhone.
Yes, likely. So I don't know if you got a hard on for China these days. Go and indulge that somewhere. But I'm not gonna join your club. It's Chinese New Year. That's what I'm celebrating. And
indeed, we've both invested as such. So these are the last times you will see these shirts. Until next year.
Does
it have a date?
I have no. It says
I've made the mistake of buying ones with dates in the past. I won't make that mistake again.
This one says, if I remember my drop your panties, Sir William. I cannot wait until lunchtime.
Right. Mm-hmm. I first became aware of Chinese New Year back in my home country of Australia.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Governor General of Australia is coming to Bangkok next week to meet His Majesty the King and the Prime Minister. Do you know what the Governor General does?
Not a clue.
He is the...
I don't know what the Governor does, let alone the Governor General.
So he is the representative of the head of state, or the King or Queen of England in Australia. So he's basically...
Oh, the remnant of the Raj.
He's chosen by Parliament to represent, basically plants, trees, and opens kindergartens. All that sort of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, he's coming to Thailand next week.
He comes and visits other monarchs and brings the best wishes of the current British monarch.
He said, "Can I come and visit you, Tim?" I thought, well, look, I'm a little bit busy, so bring chocolates if you do.
Yeah, sure.
Now, look, to a slightly... Oh, no, I was going to tell you about the first time I became aware of Chinese New Year, because we used to have our local Chinese restaurant. Every Australian town had a little Chinese restaurant in it, because there were a lot of Chinese that stuck around after the gold rush. Mm-hmm. And most of these Chinese people speak Australian like this because they're as Australian as I am.
Ross, the Australian man who just moved to Turtle Beach, is 1/18th Chinese, I think. He's got one relative, one ancestor who's Chinese. I'm sorry, carry on.
But my mother used to say, there is a thing called the Chinese New Year. So every time that we were going to celebrate New Year, my mother just went out of her way to remind me that there's a Chinese New Year. Not that my mother had any interest in China at all. And our local restaurant was called, I think I've mentioned this before, the Fuck You. And then they opened a second restaurant which was called the Fuck You Too. And that is 100% true. There it was in English at the front. My father used to giggle.
Australia.
My mother didn't quite understand the name and why my father and I were giggling.
Australia.
Something much more serious. We're getting our photo taken today, by the way.
Yeah, he's really into that camera. Was that a gift?
No.
Is that just something he said?
We don't talk about it.
It's his now.
No, we don't talk about it. So, let's have a talk. I was watching YouTube. By the way, Steve Ross has got a channel on YouTube.
He does.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch. I'm going to go slag him off in the comments
So
section.
the doctor thought, well, we're either going to put him on medication or get him to open a YouTube channel because the result is about the same.
All he needs is attention. Honest
Yeah,
to God.
sure.
He can be as normal as anyone else if he gets enough attention.
So you put Steve Ross and then put an E on the end because...
Well, I've told the
Because-
story 50 times.
Yeah, so
I'm
we're
not going to
talk
tell
about
it again.
No. Sadly, because YouTube puts up various things it thinks you're going to watch, never puts your videos up, interestingly. So it was one of those videos, and I know we've all seen them 1,000 times. And it was two gentlemen, one just sitting like this. And one was an Australian guy that was obviously trying to help this other guy.
Yeah,
No,
so
no.
far we're with you.
No, it was really sad. And
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
and
Yeah.
the other guy, I think he was from the UK. Yeah, he was from the UK, judging by his accent. And he had arrived in Thailand, I think about 4 or 5 years ago. He met a Thai lady. She suggested, I've got a bar you can invest in. And then, we need to buy a truck. And then my brother needs some money for this
Right.
or that.
Yeah.
As some 1.3, 1.4 million baht later, this guy has the money's all gone. I mean, takes an hour to get to the ending, but this guy was sitting there like absolutely a mess. He was gaunt. He was sad. He was just like whatever. He had looked like any spark of life had been crushed.
Yeah.
And I ended up watching the whole thing, even though I have heard the story 100 times.
Yeah, I've
And-
lived it at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Go on.
And it just made me think, no matter what we do, and we do sort of laugh at these people.
Yeah, you gotta. You gotta.
We shouldn't. And I suppose I got to this thinking, this guy has fallen into a very well-planned trap that hundreds of thousands of other people have also fallen into this trap. It's a restaurant. There's going to be noise. Get used to it.
Yeah. I am. I didn't mention it. I didn't say a word.
So it's what it made me think is that this guy, he's just very lucky that he's found someone who's got his interests at heart. They were trying to raise some money, and I don't know what the future of this guy is. In the back of my mind, I'm going to check up on the channel and see what happens to him. But there are more than just this guy. People who fall through the cracks. They end up getting ripped off. Now, it's not always a Thai girl or investing in a bad business. It could be a lawyer signing up for a condo or signing up for Bitcoin, for heaven's sake, or signing up for whatever, answering one of those ads on online ads,
Or simply
double your money tomorrow.
underestimating how much money they will need to live a comfortable life in Thailand. So they come. I see videos online all the time where some guy says, "I live for 800 baht a month, $800 a month in Pitanalok."
Can you
I
really?
live for 1,000. I see the videos, and these guys meticulously lay out their budget, and it all adds up to 800 US, 900, 1,000. I've done that same video. I live on 1,500 US a month, and I live very well. If my Social Security had been only 800 US a month, I still would have come and given it a shot. Whether I could live on 800 a month, I don't think that I could, but I still would have come and rolled the dice. The problem is that if you crap out, then you're kind of stuck here, you're penniless. Very often you will have alienated your friends because you've borrowed money, you couldn't pay it back. Not everybody's lucky enough to have a YouTuber friend who will go out there and make a little promotional video for your Kickstarter, for your whatever you call it. But yeah, I think I've mentioned this before, I think it's more and more. I think there's a lot more of us doing that, crapping out here and ending up broke and friendless and penniless than there ever used to be. And that might be why the visa rules are much more stringent than they were 30 years ago when I was here.
Isn't it the visa situation in Thailand? The range of visas, except probably the elite visa, it's roughly much the same. It's just they are dotting the I's and crossing the T's a lot more than they used to. And we've all noticed that. For people on retirement visas, the O visa, that 800,000 baht in the bank is sort of, for some people, the hurdle that they have to cross over. And as we know, there are some visa agents that may be able to assist you with that. So that's all fine.
And I think part of the seeing more of people going through agents is because now that's become a huge industry. Both the agents and whoever his connection is in immigration are making buku money off of that. So the immigration agents, if you try to come in and do it by yourself, they'll kind of say, you should really go get someone to help you. How about, here's a business card from my brother-in-law. He's an agent. But yeah, if you crap out, then you suffer you either jump off your balcony, you take a fistful of pills, you go back home and you sleep on your children's sofas, or you go back and look for work at 70.
Well, there's a lot of people where pride gets in the way, of course. Some of them have burnt bridges home. They've got nothing in Thailand. Their friends are sort of just trying to avoid them. There's just so many things that can happen to people, and they will fall through the cracks here in Thailand because there's no welfare for them. There's nowhere for them to go. Maybe if they roll up at the temple will feed them for
Right, the duck wants you to shut up.
Shutting myself up. The temple, that's not a long-term solution. So it is something that concerns me. And I was watching this guy and just really feeling for him and thinking, he's not the only one. He's just lucky enough to have somebody who's got some concern about him, and we wish him the best. I don't really want to publicise the video because I'm not sure of if it's all kosher, and you just got to be a bit careful about promoting these videos. But it got to me, and I'm thinking, I just have to make sure that I'm not going to fall into that situation. I have to make sure that I'm in control of my future destiny, that I've got enough money to hire someone to wipe the dribble off my face, and I'm sort of a withering wreck in a few years' time. Withering wreck, I think I meant. Withering. So, yeah, and you just got to be friends with people that are going to come and, feed you curry.
Oh, no. I told Shamlan if I ever give him this signal, he is to beat me to death with a hammer.
He never gave me that offer.
No, well, if you would like, sure. When you see me do this,
okay.
Shamlan always has a hammer. That's why I told you. Yeah, that's why I picked him. And I think there would be some. I think he and I like each other. We hang out a lot together. But at the same time, I think he might like to beat a Farang to death. He might get a. So he was open to the suggestion. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the fact is, if you are going to come and retire here, you just need to not just look at the next week, month or year. Just imagine 5, 10, 20 years ahead. What are you going to be doing? Will you have enough money if you are unable to work? The income that may be being sent to you each week stops arriving. I mean, what are you going to do? What's your exit strategy? And I think we all need to think about this, especially those of us that come and live in a foreign country. Because, you go to one of their hospitals because your foot's bleeding or something, you got no money to pay for it. What does the hospital do? They're not going to throw you out on the road. And this is all...
Not right away.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually they will. They'll wait for dark. They'll wait for the sun to go down.
Chumnan will come along
and beat me to death with a hammer. Yeah, I have been obsessing on the subject of my own mortality since adolescence. I've been thinking about my own death a long time. And I have systems in place to make sure that I don't wait.
What do you think about, though? Do you worry about it, or are you concerned about the process
Well,
leading up to it? Or?
obviously, Hamlet's relationship to mortality is different from Macbeth's or Lear's, right? As a man ages, and I assume women too. I don't want to presume to know the id or ego of a woman, but
You've
for
tried
men,
that before.
failed miserably. But I know my attitude toward movies, toward books, changes with the passing years. My attitude toward the idea of my own death has changed as well.
Because you're not the
Certainly.
same person.
Well, and I have had more experience. I worked the 3 years of COVID in a morgue. I've touched a lot of dead human flesh. And now when I was a teenager, the idea of death terrified me. Absolutely terrified me. Now, I don't care. It could happen tomorrow. I'm ready. I've been ready. I've been ready for at least 6 months, probably philosophically longer than that. So, yeah, I don't care. It'll happen.
So does this stress you out, though, every day? Do you think about it every day?
No, I did. Well, I think about it every day and have since I was a teenager. But when I was a teenager, it stressed me out. When I was a teenager, I had to self-medicate because of my dark thoughts.
Which you're still doing.
Yes, I'm still doing. That is exactly right. But now the thoughts are not so dark. The idea of my own mortality, I've had a very full life. I've done, for a guy who was locked in a cubicle for 25 years, I've done a lot with my life.
Can I say, what you're doing now, just as far as you getting up and enjoying yourself every day, I would say would be far and beyond anything you've ever done.
Yes, I agree. And of course,
you don't have to do it.
He knows everything I've done because he's read my books, available on Amazon. I thank you. I think you're right. And I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't know. Racing yachts was probably pretty exciting, but you seem very happy doing what you're doing now.
Sure.
And that's why I think you won't stop with 3 houses. I'm not going to stop with one turtle. Next year's parade turtle is going to be 3 times the size of this turtle.
Is there a spiritual dimension to your coming to terms with your own mortality? Like you were brought up Jewish?
No. I didn't know I was Jewish till I was 13, pretty much.
Did you have a bar mitzvah?
No. Never went to Hebrew school. Never had a bar mitzvah.
You were a pretend Jew.
Well, no. My mother married. She divorced my father, who was Jewish. My mother and father were Jewish. Then she married a Greek Orthodox Catholic for 2 years, and we were Catholic for 2 years. And then she married an Oklahoma Baptist for 2 years, and we were Baptist for 2 years. And by the time I was 13, my mother was done with God and men. And so I'm an atheist, agnostic. Anyway, I was raised agnostic. I've spent way more time in Thai Buddhist temples than I ever spent in any Jewish temples.
So are you more at terms with some sort of Buddhist beliefs than you are with the Western theist beliefs?
I think the idea of put good energy into the world and you can expect good energy back has a foundation in science. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So I like that, and the fact that it's not beholden to a deity. To Buddhists, this world exists because it exists. It's not because God, said, God spoke the word and there was light.
And 7 days later.
Yeah. So you can be, I've said before, most of the people who've led this country for the last 3 generations were educated at Assumption University. They went to chapel every morning of their educations, from kindergarten to senior in high school or college or beyond. And yet they are devout Buddhists and or Muslims, I suppose, or Taoists or Jews or whatever. There is a Jewish community in Bangkok, by the way. But Buddhism allows you the freedom and the leeway to believe in whatever sort of superstition you want to believe in, and still believe in cause and effect, right? So I am attracted to Buddhism, and I do chant Namo Tassa every morning and have for years.
Well, that's pretty Buddhist.
That
you go through that.
Nah, that's a guy depending on ritual, depending on regularity and uniformity to give him a sense of security in his life. That's what.
It's a bit like my bowel movements.
It could have been, I could wake up. I suppose, yes.
They're regular and gives me a sense of security.
When my kids were little, yeah, okay, all right, perfect. when my kids were little, I didn't know any lullabies. I learned one Thai lullaby, but then the rest of the time I sang my kids Shema, which is a Jewish prayer. It's sort of like the Lord's Prayer for Jews, and it's sung, and it's the only song I know from temple. It's the only thing that's stuck in my head from my very few experiences in Judaism. But it's got a nice tune. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And I would sing that to my kids when they were very young as a lullaby. And I don't know what effect, if any, it ever had on them. But it was the regularity of it, the familiarity of it, the uniformity of it that I took comfort in, not the spiritual context.
Interesting. My fear of death has, since you asked
Yes,
me,
Tim.
It disappeared. My fear of death disappeared when I decided I was atheist. After that, I never worried about it again, because most of the religions just tell you how bad you are and that you're going to go to hell, and there's all this shocking things awaiting you. So I decided this is all bullshit, and I'm just not going to worry about it anymore, and I haven't worried about it since.
Yeah, but you're going to hell, dude.
Sure.
I've known you long enough to know.
When the lights go out, they'll go out, and I'm sort of cool with that.
That's it.
So anyway,
pick your exit music.
Serious talk.
Yada da 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 da. Boom.
So to that, he was sort of 50-ish, English guy living in Pattaya, and his Australian mate. I hope the hell you're okay, mate.
Yeah, good luck.
I'll sort of follow your progress. But don't invest in the girlfriend's business.
Yeah. You know, I think it's not so much what you come with, how much money you come with. It's how you spend it once you get here. And if you go too fast, if you move too fast, you're gonna suffer for that.
Now, we started doing Grumpy Old Men some 50 episodes ago in your house. There's absolutely no room to do anything in your house now except sniff glue, and the bathroom's still empty, I think, but that may not be for long.
And he brought that up because there's all kinds of adhesives, and my house smells of a different adhesive every time you come in. Not because we sniff glue for the high.
No, absolutely not.
And honestly, I would rearrange furniture and make room, and when the rainy season comes again, we may decide we don't want to drive out to the sea light because we know it's going to be raining. There's no point in shooting on the beach, so we might want to shoot in my house or your house.
Or we've run out of money to go to these expensive restaurants.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But then we sort of started moving out, and Steve said, I've seen this great little restaurant. So we started going here and there, and these cool little spaces. And from time to time, there are people walking past, or there might be some noise or some music. And because we're sort of recording it live, and because we're sometimes searching for a running joke, we'll sort of, bring it to the front of our conversations.
Complain.
And we'll complain with a big smile on our face.
Yeah, she's running the blender to make it when I'm trying to talk. Yeah, it's not real complaining.
So some people have said, why don't you go and get a podcast space?
Smiling Simeon. Yeah, you're too cheap to rent a podcast space. That's why you go out and shoot on location.
Not his real name, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope you'll do a reverse and show what we're looking at here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you want us to rent a room with egg crates stapled to the walls and sit behind a giant microphone and be another one of those podcast guys? When there's Turtle Beach to film on. No, it's not going to happen. We'll do this.
It's interesting. The people that do spend a lot of money on a studio, on an expensive camera, on expensive microphones, the result that they end up. We do this with a 12-year-old mic. And that's an iPad sitting in front of us, and the camera from the iPad. And it gives us what I would call a perfectly acceptable result. Would more people watch us if we had a more expensive mic and a fancy Canon DSLR shooting us instead?
I don't
on
know.
a tripod that doesn't shake.
I don't know. There are an awful lot of vloggers in Thailand whose technical skills and quality of their equipment far exceeds my own. And they do have many, many, many times my number of subscribers. But I'm not interested in buying that stuff or learning editing techniques or making it glossy or glitzy. I just have no interest in doing that.
What about
so
just making
you're going to
it
have to settle for this, folks.
like 1% better every week? Like,
Now, if it means me putting out any effort at all, no. Your channel is different. You're on TV. Yeah, you're on the YouTube every single day of the week, year round. So it's different for you. Your technical skills are way, way beyond mine. You've put the effort in to learn that
I just do
stuff.
it every day. That's
Yeah.
you've got no choice.
And I don't want to think about it every day. I don't make the Boontongs videos. I used to work on those every single day for 2 weeks, every single day, hours every day, and it got me bupkis. So now, no, I don't want to learn any editing techniques. I'm sorry. I bought a new computer and a new monitor and a new editing package. I wish I'd have just stuck with my old
but
beat-up
Pornhub
laptop.
does look a lot better on that new screen. Really?
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the monitor's like this big. It's like being in the room with them. Yeah.
And that monitor you got stapled to the ceiling on your room, it's got to fall on you one day.
No, but I put cling wrap around the monitor to keep it, clean.
So let's have a talk to something that you know a lot more about than I do.
That's virtually everything in the world,
So I could just pick
except
any topic.
yachts. Except yachts.
Maybe yachts.
Yeah, and swimming.
Now, during the week, there was a story. I did it on Monday. It was reported in the Bangkok Post that the public health minister had outlined the provisions in the new cannabis and hemp control bill.
Oh, if we're going to start with this, I need water. Whose water is that? Couldn't we? May I? ขอนิดหนึ่งได้ไหม? ขอนิดหนึ่ง. Thank you.
Even poured.
Yeah. It's on the ball. Thank you, sir. Do you want some of that? You still have soda.
I've still got some soda. And I've got some.
All right.
I've got at least one glass I can spill.
So carry on, my wayward son. Ask your question.
So one of the things that they got to in the article was saying that people had gone the last weekend, this is last weekend, to a Coldplay concert. They were playing at the Rajamangala Stadium, which I've been to about 3 years before that. And a huge stadium, basically a sports stadium. And Coldplay were playing there. Well, a very big popular band, have been for a long time, playing all their hits. So their audience would be sort of up to 50-ish, that sort of 25 to 50-ish, sort of in there somewhere.
I'll have to trust you on that.
But people had, do you know any Coldplay songs?
Yellow. That's the only, I don't actually know it. I just know the title. That's the only word I associate with Coldplay.
Okay, moving
I
right
couldn't
along.
hum it for you.
Go on, try and hum it for us.
Da 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 yellow. That's it. Yeah.
Just make some notes here.
Or is that Oasis? Who is that? Have I got that wrong?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, somebody had complained and sent. He was a Thai vlogger, apparently very popular, an actor, and he'd said, "There are too many people around me smoking pot, and the smell of pot was wafting around the air, and I couldn't enjoy the concert." And so the public health minister used that as a reason to this tightening up that they're going to be doing for the use of cannabis in the future, which is another story on another day. Let's see what the government decides on Tuesday. However, you had some thoughts about people smoking during concerts.
I have a thought. It's completely appropriate. It's an arena rock show. Of course, there will be people smoking marijuana. 1974, Yes, with Alice Cooper opening for Yes in Iowa City, Iowa, in the basketball stadium. Yeah, we blazed up. Yeah, it's an arena rock show. Now, if you're going to go see the Nutcracker with all the kids, you're going to the opera, you're going to go to the public library. No, obviously inappropriate places. But by God, if you're going to go to a bar in Texas, there's going to be sawdust on the floor and beer on tap. That's what's there. You go to an arena rock concert, people are going to be smoking weed. And I think it is.
However, can I say,
Of course, it's your show, it's your channel.
well, if I'm standing next to you, if we go to a Coldplay concert together,
Yeah.
wearing our matching shirts,
Yeah.
and you start lighting up, I'm going to sort of lean over and go, hey, would you blow the smoke over there? Because I don't want to be...
Yeah, I'll blow the smoke over there.
I don't want to be sniffing your exhale, your secondhand smoke.
As I have said before, having this conversation in Thailand about odors that offend is a little weird. But, I would probably raise my eyebrows at you in that situation. But, yeah, I would turn my head and blow it over there. I would
You're
not put
very
it out.
considerable
I would not
eyebrows.
put it out. It's a rock show in an arena. I would not put it out. And I'll bet you in that arena, the next time they have a sporting event in there, there'll be somebody smoking weed in there or drinking beer. And honestly, since I don't touch alcohol, the smell of beer on somebody's breath is pretty gross. I don't like to smell it. So there's going to be odors around. Some guys, you get in an elevator and this woman over here has got cologne on and it makes you choke until you get to the 9th floor, you get off, and then it's over. So I think that it's a little precious to complain about smoke in that environment in an arena rock show, particularly if it's not assigned seating. If it's general seating, you can go sit where somebody's not smoking pot.
Or
Good
I
luck
might
finding
suggest
that.
you could go and smoke over there
Yeah,
because you're the one inflicting...
Yeah, I wouldn't go. I would tell you it's an arena rock show and I'm going to stand right here and smoke my doobie.
But I'm going to put my hands on my hips.
Okay. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Couple of them.
Thought that'd make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, what about if you start smoking now? And we're here at a restaurant. No.
Oh.
But
That was cruel. That was a bait and switch. You teased me.
I could...
No, I don't appear
I'd
on
kill
camera.
for a chocolate.
Yes, I would too. I have
Say
never
that louder, they might turn up. But
I have never appeared on camera stoned, and I never will.
But
okay,
we're at a restaurant.
This is inappropriate.
we're at a restaurant. Are you going to light up?
No, neither cigarettes nor. I think the same rules should apply to cigarettes and weed.
Okay,
in
well,
terms of
somebody
smoking.
lights up a cigarette at the Rajamangala Arena, a tobacco cigarette. I'd be saying, excuse me, I've come here not to sniff your disgusting tobacco smoke. Would you please put it out? Because, apart from anything else, it's illegal to smoke in a public space. That's what I'd say to them. I don't think it'd go down very well, but that's... Oh, God, green curry chicken.
It's a good song, isn't it? You've been into Coldplay long? I got all their albums. This one's great. Shh, listen to the lyrics of this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an arena rock show.
Well, a different
Yeah.
situation.
You're lucky I'm wearing pants.
Let's go to a public railway station in the United Kingdom,
Okay.
and you're playing the piano, and some Chinese guy comes behind you and starts blowing marijuana smoke on you while you're playing the...
I'd ask him for a hit. Yeah. How do you say?
Have you got one as well?
Yeah, toast me up, bro, in Cantonese. How do you say that? Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a fair question.
Sure, they're all fair. It's your channel. You can ask anything you want.
So, hi to Mr. Kavanagh, by the way.
I don't think he watches.
I don't...
Yeah, he's not a subscriber. No.
He might be one of those many people that watch without subscribing.
Man, yeah,
I
okay, maybe
think he's a secret
maybe
fan.
he's a lurker.
A lurker. By the way, if you do come to my house, including you, if you want to have a little bit of a fag, just pop outside and that'll be
Sure.
fine.
Yeah. I'm all on board with that. Yeah, and honestly, I don't.
What do you think, by the way? What do you think? You're at Coldplay. Somebody's blowing smoke in your face. What are you going to do? Are you going to say anything? Are you going to sort of look over your glasses at them? Or are you going to put your hands on your hips? What are you going to do?
Yeah,
or
and-
are you going to go and sit somewhere else?
Is there a difference? Should Steve be considering the difference between Coldplay in Bangkok in 2024 and Yes and Alice Cooper in Iowa City in 1974? Is my analogy inapt? Is there a difference in those settings?
Now, I'm assuming that in 1974 in Iowa, the smoking of cannabis would have been
Way illegal.
illegal.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that was part of the thrill. Of course, you're in a public space with 20. I think the field house held 20,000 people. And then we would sign up. Oh, dude, we would sign up for the cleanup crew after the concert, like 1, 2 in the morning. They'd have you, all these college students. They pay us $20 an hour or $10 an hour to go through and clean up. You would go under the bleachers, because when the cops did a sweep through, everybody dropped their weed under the bleachers, right? So if you were cleaning up under the bleachers, you got a lot of free weed. So we would stay late after the show, me and Mark and Lars, and clean up the field house. Yeah.
Somehow you got to 67 years old. I have
66. Let's
66,
Not,
sorry.
yeah. You're being optimistic, and I appreciate that. But no, so far, honest to God, the fact that I am still upright and above ground amazes me and amazes anybody who's ever known me. Yeah, I should be dead 20 times over.
I'll be catching up with you in 10 days' time. 9 days' time.
You'll be 66 in 9 days?
55.
Oh, 65. That's
So,
not catching up.
if
but
you'd like to, well, I'll be slowly catching up.
his math skills have not improved.
So I'm expecting
A gift?
a substantial gift, actually. I probably wouldn't want you to spend more than, say, 25,000 baht. That'd be it.
I will spend exactly what you spent on my gift last November. Yeah.
Being shamed here.
Touche.
Weren't you away or something? What was?
No, you merely ignored my birthday. I cannot remember November.
No.
You might have given me a gift. I don't know. I
think I
cannot
did.
remember November. I can't remember this morning.
That's a good name for a song. I can't
That's
remember
because
November.
I went to too many Yes and Alice Cooper concerts and crawled around under the bleachers and took everything I found under there.
These
That's-
Coldplay fans.
Now I don't.
Whoa.
Yeah, Coldplay. I guess it's not. They're not.
They're more pop than rock.
I don't know. I can't name one of their songs. I don't know. Like I said, I stopped paying attention when Leonard Skinner hit the ground. That's the end of my music education.
Okay, one last thing, Steve.
Yo,
As I segue, I've written down in my notes, and I didn't quite understand it when you mentioned it to me originally, making a cup of tea.
a waiter. Yeah, no, this was something.
How was your coffee, by the way?
It was serviceable. It had caffeine in it, obviously. But in terms of the flavor of a cup of coffee, and in terms of serving it hot, it is very difficult in Thailand to get a hot cup of coffee, particularly latte. I don't know if they just dump the milk in there out of the refrigerator or what, but it's very difficult to get a hot cup of coffee. But it was all right. It had caffeine. That's the important thing.
It was brown.
Yeah, but the question of making a cup of tea, I brought this up because very early on, when I was recommended by Roy Bott to launch a YouTube channel, I had never looked at any YouTube. Excuse me. So I found YouTube and I started looking and I put Thailand in there and oh my God, here's all these Farang, these expats making videos. Oh my God, I thought, what a wonderful wealth of entertainment. I was young, I was new. I was young. We're talking like 18, 20 months ago. So I started watching, and one of the very earliest ones I watched was this guy, and I have no idea what his name was, what his name of his channel is, or even if he's still, I wouldn't recognize the guy if he was sitting at this table. It's been a long time, almost 2 years. But anyway, he was making a cup of tea in his kitchen in the morning in Nakhon Nowhere. And he's going on about this is the machine we use to boil water in Thailand. And they keep it on the counter full of hot water all day long. And whenever anybody wants a Nescafe, they can make it. Isn't this amazing, this bullet-shaped machine
I think
full
we
of
call
hot
it
water?
an urn.
An urn, whatever. And he's, and this is the tea I can get at the Tesco Lotus and this. And he makes a cup of tea, right? And that's his video. And I thought, okay, when you first get here, Everything is otherworldly. Everything is foreign. Everything is fascinating. And the simple act of making that very homey thing that everybody back home recognizes, it's not, oh, look, I've learned how to make sweet green curry. No, it's a cup of tea. But it's because he's doing it in his kitchen in Pitsanulok, and he can look out the window and see the rice paddies and the people with the conical hats. It's all very exotic and wonderful and interesting enough to make a YouTube video about adding hot water to dry leaves, right? That's it.
So the making of the tea was somehow him reconnecting with his own roots?
No, there's a tension. Gee,
I'm trying.
You're not getting it?
Okay.
There's a tension between the familiar and the exotic.
Okay.
A cup of tea in Thailand. It's like Gilligan and the professor make a radio out of coconut shells, right? It's the connection of those two things. But the time comes when you've had 1,000 cups of tea in your kitchen in Nakhon Noila, and there's no more otherworldliness attached.
That battery they brought to the island lasted for about 3 or 4 seasons.
What happens? What do you do then when everything is the familiar now? The buffalo are familiar. The 13 kids on a motorcycle. In my case, seeing little babies on motorcycles holding on for dear life, no helmets. A 1-year-old. Responsible for his own safety on a motorcycle because mom's got to drive the bike, right? Now I don't even think about it. I see that and I go boom, I go around them. I don't even think about it. That used to be noteworthy. Every time I left the house, I'd go, yeah, 20 times because there'd be some kid without a helmet on a motorcycle.
So do you have a ritual that sort of is something that you would have done every single day? Not that ritual, but something that you do and you go, wow, this is sort of weird because I used to do this, but it feels weird now.
No, I went through that phase 30 years ago. My whole life is ritual. My whole life is doing the same thing every day and clinging to that. So, yeah, I wake up in the morning. I open the doors of the house. I put on a shirt. I chant Namo Tassa. I make coffee. I clean the turtles' habitat. And I sit down and open YouTube and email and things like that. Every single day, I start with that. And once I have moved my bowels, I get on the bicycle and I go for a bike ride. Every single day starts that way.
I see you ride past every day.
Yeah, almost. I mean, there are times when something will get in the way and I won't. But for the most part, I try to do the same things every day. So I have lost that otherworldliness a long, long time ago. This right now feels more familiar and correct to me than 8 years in Las Cruces, New Mexico ever felt. I feel like I belong here to an extent. Never felt that way in New Mexico. So, yeah, I don't have those moments, but for me, I have embraced the otherworldliness and made it common. I don't know what other people do when faced with that ennui, that boredom of now nothing's exciting as a cup of tea anymore, Anyway,
Yeah.
It was a thought. It was a random thought.
And thank you. Now, next week...
Any random thoughts, Tim?
No random thoughts. My random thought is about a turtle festival, which is between the 1st and the 10th of March.
I believe
We're all eagerly awaiting to see your turtle hit the sunshine.
Me too.
And you'll be happy to get it out of the house.
I've been living with this thing in my living room for a year. Yeah, I'm ready to get it out of the house.
So we will be, I think, talking about that, and we might even get a bit of a sneak preview if we're lucky. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, I think we have 2 more shows before then. 2 more Sundays.
Oh yeah, probably
before March 1st. Anyway,
I am a bit confused.
Yeah, it is. We did. I'll let you know. We went. My friend Hans took me to his friend, who is the the head of the turtle, not the turtle, the national park, the Thai Mueang Kaulampi National Park. And we had a meeting in his office, and he said, yes, you can march with us. So I do have official permission to participate in the parade, be the first Farang to ever walk in the Turtle Day Parade.
Will you be in the front row, or are you going to be sort of
We will
at
be the
back?
second float. Yes, the national park, their float is Pa Tale, the great big turtle that sits outside the Kesaban office most of the year. And
you're
we
gonna
will be
follow up the
behind
big
that.
turtle.
And then there will be, a Gatoy band, and then a preschool band, and then
And the Boy
another
Scouts
float, and then the synchronized dancing middle-aged ladies, and then another float, and then another float, marching band, another float.
But all turtle themed.
All turtle themed, yeah. And then at the end of it, they released, it's actually called the Ngan Bloy Tao Tare, the party to release the sea turtles.
And I got invited this week to sponsor one of those turtles that's going to be released.
Oh, don't they put a chip in it so you can always tell where your turtle is?
Oh, they didn't mention that. But they
I
mentioned
think they do.
It was they were inviting me to throw 3,500 baht at
a turtle.
At a turtle, and I thought,
Yeah.
wonder where that money's going.
Yeah, well, yeah, wherever it's going. It's a great time. It's March 1st through March 10th. Yeah.
We did have a little bit of titillation this week at our beach houses, because a guest left. I won't mention any dates, and we found I'm trying to think of a nice way of describing this. Probably, but not necessarily, a female
Marital aid?
Marital aid, yes.
You washed your hands since then, right?
I have washed my hands.
Now I'm vibrating.
But they left it there.
That's a tip, brother. That's for you. That's a tip.
It was indeed a tip.
Yeah. Waka, waka, waka.
So,
we should quit there. We're never going to top that.
And that was about the most exciting thing that's happened to me at Turtle Beach since I arrived.
I used to work, when you're a prop man, you move a lot of furniture. And in New York City, I worked before my showbiz career took off. I worked for a furniture moving company. I worked for a piano moving company. And the embarrassing things you find, we'd be hired to help someone move out of their apartment into a new apartment. And the things that they carelessly leave under the bed and in the back of a shelf and in the back of a drawer. I mean, anything of a sensitive nature like that, I'm aware exactly where it is. And from a lifetime of hiding my pot, I guess. And but we would find all sorts of embarrassing stuff, and sometimes they were there to be embarrassed with us, and sometimes they were not. They had simply hired lackeys to come in the room.
So since we've found it, about that size, I was going to see if we could find some space on the turtle to glue this on.
No.
There you go. But
it's not trash out of the ocean, dude.
Oh, I can fix that.
It's just trash.
I can fix that.
Throw it in the ocean.
Sure.
But no, I appreciate the offer. I think maybe, kind of, sort of, maybe. Not sure yet. I'll get back to you on that.
So, yeah, exciting times. We've got the Chinese New Year. Then in a couple of weeks, we've got the Turtle Festival. And then we've got Songkran. And then we've got 6 months of hellish weather. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much for inviting me. I enjoy this every time we do it. Thank you.
Are you going to wear this shirt ever again?
Yeah, next year at this time.
Or did a polyester cotton die for nothing?
No, I mean, I sleep sometimes in T-shirts. T-shirts are very difficult for me.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, it's hard for me to take off a T-shirt because I can't lift this arm over 90 degrees. It won't go up past there. So the action of lifting something over my head is very difficult. But I'll sleep in a T-shirt
with zippers.
Yeah, well, normally I wear a button-down shirt. I wear buttons.
There we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so enjoy that because you may never see it again.
Yeah.
Or at least until next year.
Drop your panties, Sir William. I cannot wait until lunchtime. That is your Cantonese lesson for the day.
And there's the price tag if you need to get some money back.
I need to return it.
Yes.
Yeah, New Year's is over. I'm going to return this, get my money back. The only 4X T-shirt in Turtle Beach, I want you to know.
I'm pretty sure if I wash this, it'll go from an XL to a XS. Thanks for watching Steve's YouTube channel, Steve Ross, with an E. He's also got an email that I put in the description below. If you want to send Steve an email offering him sponsorship or chocolates or marital aids, it's up to you. That's in the description. You can subscribe to my channel, and of course we'll be back during the week for our news program. So from the Sea Light, goodbye.
Thank you. I love you.